This week's parsha is the most important parsha in the entire Torah. You may ask, why is this week's parsha the most important in the entire Torah? Well, let me tell you. Parsha Shemot starts the book of Shemot, the book of Exodus. We have a new king arising over Egypt who did not know Yosef, the origins of anti-Semitism, the descent of the nation of Israel into slavery, Pharaoh's edict to kill all the male children, and the children being saved by 2 righteous midwives, the birth of Moshe is being put into the Nile by his mother, being watched over by Miriam, and taken out of the Nile by Batya and being given back to his mother. Notice all the righteous women we have so far. We have Moshe being raised as a prince, killing an Egyptian, fleeing Egypt. Moshe marrying Zipporah and tending to the flocks of his father-in-law. We have the burning bush, Hashem charging Moshe to take the nation of Israel out of Egypt and appointing Aaron as Moshe's spokesperson. Moshe telling Pharaoh, let my people go. Pharaoh rejecting the demand and instead increasing the burden on the people. And one of the greatest last lines in any parsha, setting up a doozy of a cliffhanger. But none of that is why this is the most important parsha. The reason this is the most important parsha is because it tells us of the true essence of Hashem. A parsha generally gets its name from the first unique word of the parsha. Shemot is exactly that way, starting off Vayela Shemot, meaning these are the names. But really, you couldn't have picked a better title for the parsha. We seem to spend a lot of time talking about names of people and things. We have the names of everyone who went down into Egypt, the names of the cities the Israelites built, the names of the 2 righteous midwives, the naming of Moshe by the unnamed daughter of Pharaoh with a beautiful midrash on how she got the name Batya, and the naming of Moshe's son. Names in Judaism aren't just something your parents like the sound of. They get to the essence of who we are. Your name is the key to your soul. This is why parents name their children after revered relatives, hoping to create a link between the newborn and the holy attributes of a loved one. Moshe's name was not selected this way. He was named Moshe by Pharaoh's daughter because she drew him out of the water. This lack of a spiritual connection in his name may be why the first thing he asks Hashem when they meet at the burning bush is Mi Anochi, who am I? He's seeking his true identity, the key to his soul. But it's the next question that Moshe asks Hashem that I want to focus on. After asking, who am I? He asks, who are you? More specifically, he asks, when I come to the children of Israel and say to them, the God of your fathers has sent me to you, and they shall say to me, what is his name? What shall I say to them? And Hashem's answer, or more specifically, the mistranslation of his answer, has caused no end of trouble. Hashem tells Moshe that his name is Ehyeh Asher Ehyeh. This was translated into Greek and later Latin and English as I am who I am. Early in medieval Christian theologians understood this as talking about God as being unchanging, in the words of Augustine, or eternal and immutable, in the words of Aquinas. This forms the basis of the Christian understanding of God. But that is a description of a Greek God, not the God of Abraham. Ehyeh Asher Ehyeh means none of those things. A better translation would be something like, I will be what, where, or how I will be. The essential element that most translations miss, especially non-Jewish ones, is it's written in the future tense. In the words of Rabbi Lord Jonathan Sacks, God is defining himself as the God of history who is about to intervene in an unprecedented way to liberate a group of slaves from the mightiest empire of the ancient world and lead them on a journey towards liberty. Far from being timeless and immutable, God in the Hebrew Bible is active, engaged in constant dialogue with his people, calling, urging, warning, challenging, and forgiving. Up until this point, the patriarchs knew Hashem as the God of creation. But here we're getting a whole new relationship with God. God isn't the one who created the universe and is now retired in Boca with his feet up admiring a job well done. Hashem is not a God of the past. Hashem is a God of the past, present, and more importantly, the future. Active in history and in an ongoing relationship with all of creation. This makes the closing line of the parsha so powerful. You shall soon see what I will do to Pharaoh. This seems to be saying that the relationships your forefather had with me isn't the relationship this generation and your descendants will have with me. I'm about to get involved. In the words of Randy Bachman, you ain't seen nothing yet. That's one reason why this is the most important parsha in the entire Torah. But the other reason is the most important piece of Torah is whatever piece of Torah you have in front of you right now. Shabbat Shalom and Am Yisroel Chai.